when love or unconditional love, which is true love, is experienced, it is an intervention. It makes you operate differently than how you've been operating. Unconditional love has you take care of everyone. Welcome to satsang.
Do we really have free will?
A lot of people will say that we do, but I know that we don't. Because I didn't program me. My genetics programmed me, my parents programmed me, my religion programmed me, my schooling programmed me, my government programmed me, my peers programmed me. I was totally brainwashed like everybody else into believing a heap of stuff that wasn't true. And because I believed it, all of these things became my default patterns, which I then operated out of for, well, until I was 19 years old. And at 19 I started undoing them all, because it became very clear that a lot of my default patterns, the programs that had been put into me externally, were detrimental to myself and others. But of course, I didn't come up with that idea. I was programmed to come up with that idea because I had some intervention occur. And so everything that I'm saying now has been programmed into me externally. People think that I might have choices, but truthfully, I run to my default patterns like everybody else does. But people don't examine themselves. They love to get arrogant and think, I have free will. Well, if you programmed you, then the decisions that you make would be your decisions, but they're not. They're what has been put into you by genetics and causally by your parents and society in general. And you will run true to whatever default patterns have been put in you. It's just the way it is.
It still feels like right now my actions and my thoughts are in my control. Why, if we don't have free will, do I still have that perception?
Because basically you're operating out of a computer that was programmed externally, not by you. And so it will run true to whatever programming was put in it. You didn't put the programming in. If you did, well, then you could say, yeah, I have choices. But you didn't put the programming in. Can you say that a computer has free will if it was programmed externally? Isn't it simply going to run true to what it was programmed to do and think and say? Wouldn't it be arrogant to claim that it actually has choices when it didn't even program itself?
Yeah, even though I hear you saying that, is the feeling, the continued feeling that I do, regardless of hearing what you say, is that because of a belief in itself, that a common belief that I have free will, that it's been perpetuated over time, that I've bought into?
Well, I had that belief also, but I started witnessing my mind when I was about 14, and after about 10 years of witnessing my mind, I got to see a great deal of how it was operating, why it was operating, where the programming came from, and it definitely wasn't me. It all came externally, and I was running true to my default patterns, including the default pattern of analysing my mind. I was programmed to do that too.
So if I have no free will, how can I go about changing my life and know that it's in the right direction, for want of a better term?
Well, I can only talk about my own direct experience with that. And the first major intervention that was positive in my life happened when I was 19 years old, when I attended a encounter group for 4 days called the Greatness in You Seminar. And they got through to me. They started to show me things that were in my way. They started to show me that my programming was false. They started having me challenge my limiting belief systems. And that was the first intervention, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. But most people don't have intervention. Satsang, what we're doing here right now, this is intervention. But how many people are listening to this? And how many people are buying it? Most people don't watch their own minds. They don't witness their own minds, so they won't see it. They start believing the stories they're telling themselves, which are just dream. You get to see things by witnessing your mind, not by thinking about things. Thinking is just another way of dreaming. You witness the mind. You watch it. You see what it's doing.
That's all, thank you.
Okay. The greatest intervention that actually occurred to me after that, besides speaking to Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, was finding my own heart. When love, or unconditional love, which is true love, is experienced, it is an intervention. It makes you operate differently than how you've been operating. Unconditional love has you take care of everyone. It's the most beautiful form of intervention there is, but unfortunately, unconditional love only appears in openness. It doesn't really appear in closedness or defendedness. And most people are very closed and very defended. And so Osho was a heart teacher. Jesus was a heart teacher. Because heart is the great intervention that changes people for the better. If there was more heart on this planet, we wouldn't be having all this trouble we're having. But there's a lack of heart on this planet. There's a great deal of mind warmongering. Heart won't get involved in war. Because heart takes care, it doesn't kill. It's the mind that kills. So the intervention, satsang intervention, is teaching the way of the heart, a way of being in the world that is beautiful, rather than a way of being in the world that is just survival at the cost of others. Prem Jayesh, hello.
Hi, Vishrant.
Hello.
You've talked about developing a raft to meet the world that's comfortable and helps you feel in control. How did you start to dismantle that?
Okay, so I wasn't aware that I'd created a raft when I first discovered that someone was talking about this. I thought that I was being real, that it wasn't all an act to get people to accept me and behave themselves. Because I was a boss. I've been a boss my whole adult life. And I thought my raft was real, but it wasn't real. It was just made up with a whole pile of different ways of being in the world, different belief systems, different understandings that worked to control my environment. But it wasn't real. And that raft was put together and designed by people who were successful in business because I was programmed by them. But it wasn't real, wasn't who I was, but it seemed like that at the time. It was a successful raft, and so it liked itself, but it still was false. It wasn't until I started to glimpse my true nature that I realised how much of a bullshitter I really was. Hello, Frida.
Hello, Vishrant.
You asked for sannyas, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
You did. You asked for sannyas. Do you still want sannyas?
Uh-huh. I do.
Okay. So I've chosen you a name because I believe that the story that goes with it and its meaning will help you be more in touch with your heart and more yin. Your sannyasin name is Prem Komala. 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 And Prem meaning love and Komala meaning gentleness.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, very. Be gentle in all things and perceive love in all things. This is your path. Openness counts for everything. And Tosh made you up a certificate and he'll send that to you. Kamala.
Beautiful.
When I looked into you and I worked out what it was that would be best for you, because your life has been tough in so many ways, you have become a little too tough. And gentleness is now your way out. It is your path to freedom. To be gentle with yourself and to be gentle to others. The toughness helps you manage the world you're in, but it's time for that to go and to be replaced with gentleness and kindness.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. I had to go through that myself because I was a tough guy and I had to become a nobody and then I had to become heart. And you can only become heart when you disappear. And gentleness is the way to yin. And yin, in yin, there's no you. There's only you really in yang. And so towards yin you head.
Oh.
You've got friends out there that are yin though. I found trees were all yin. When I could sit in a tree or hold a tree, I could feel that beautiful feminine receptive energy. Because unfortunately, every male that I've met and every female I've met, human, they're all yang. The only people that I've met who are fully yin are those who are awake. And I'll bet you they were yin before awakening. Wide open. Wide open. So I give you Prem Kamala, Prem Kamala.
Mhm.
Welcome, sister.
Thank you.